Good evening. Welcome back. It's Friday and we are reading My Good School. You may have noticed you got another email. Our sessions are now called Brewing Knowledge Fridays. So that's a small update. The beautiful thing about this is, as we live among books, so we thought we will celebrate Fridays as our life and work within books. Then this week we have consolidated our program for 2025 and 26. We will have 5 hours of reading every week. That's a major investment on our part. We meet on Thursdays, we meet on Fridays, we meet on Saturdays, and finally we meet on Sunday. So there is almost 5 hours of reading from our side. We hope that helps you some way and adds joy to your life. We hope you grow up professionally. We hope that all this reading makes you find your passion and adds value to quality in education in your life. So today I thought we should try and figure out what goes into the making of a school. Who should open a school? Is a school about just a piece of land? What should be the vision? What should be the mission? And above all, how do you build a great school? Yes, it's all about teachers, it's all about learning, it's all about relationships. There's no denying about all that. So here we are. This is the introduction page. If you have the book, it's page 15 in Roman 10:5 XV. I come across many people who say they own a tract of land and would like to set up a school. Everyone today who has a piece of land thinks they should set up a school. But should just owning land be enough to consider setting up a school? Some say they are promoting a township and must set up a school. Yet others have real estate and find running a school to be a great revenue generation proposition. I'll go back. Is a school a good way to earn social acceptance? A way to espouse philanthropy? Look at the words we've used. Espouse philanthropy. I corrected myself. Is school a way to show philanthropy? The challenge is not in owning or setting up a school, but operating it well and delivering quality education. We need to understand the purpose of the school before we set out to build it with brick and mortar. So, what is important is we need to have a purpose first. A school is where students, some call them pupils, are taught by teachers. Most countries have systems of formal education wherein students move a series of schools. The names of these schools vary by country, but generally include primary school for young children, secondary school for teenagers who have completed primary education. An institution where higher education is taught is commonly called a university. So, this is a natural progression in setting up a school. Mr. Shomi Das, a renowned educationist and a former headmaster of the Doon School and of Lawrence School, Sanar, he was also the principal of Mayo College. We are reading his story in the master class on Saturdays. Feel free to join us. The term education encompasses a whole gamut of experiential learning, which in a school is given through teachers in the classroom and often more importantly outside. It is the nature of the experience and how it is designed to be imparted that makes the difference between a good school and an ordinary school. How are the academic subjects taught and what is it a school should teach? There are three important functions, among others, of the educational process. in the classroom apart from mere learning. So let's look at what these three other important reasons are. First, to develop problem solving abilities. Second, to develop creative abilities. And third, to develop curiosity. I have summarized it recently and I said a school has to focus on hygiene and curiosity. Think about it. Hygiene and curiosity. So, if you are anyway looking at problem solving, creative abilities, it's all going to curiosity. It's all going to your desire to learn. It's all going to your ability to keep learning. And the second thing is hygiene. Think about it. Hygiene and curiosity. If you're able to nurture this, you will be able to do everything in your school. Hygiene will give you skills for life. Curiosity will give you learning for life. And that's what the beauty of life is. Does the school have systems of teaching and learning that encourage the development of the aforementioned skills? What place does the library have in the learning process? In the assessment systems used by the school, how much emphasis is given to marks? Often the opportunities for learning outside the classroom are greater through sports and games and other activities like adventure sports, dramatics, and community service. They all play an important role in developing character and citizenship. A good school will provide a balance of opportunities in its curriculum to allow a student to develop his or her special interests and talents. So, we must put a lot of thought before we set out to build a school. It is imperative to understand that we are molding the lives of our future generations. When a potter starts his work with clay, he has his mind and body in unison and strives to build a piece of art and utility with empathy, care, devotion. Empathy, care, devotion. He does not make the pot simply because there is mud that happens to have the properties of high quality clay, which when sold will earn him a livelihood. The potter's labor of love is what really goes into the making of a masterpiece. Likewise, many an artist has a canvas to paint. Few, however, can imbibe the thought and emotion to create the depth that will be endless. Our advice to all owners of real estate and property developers is once you start to work on a school project, you will need to forget all other work in your life. Put your heart and soul into the very project, and then alone you can create a school to offer quality education. Just think about this paragraph. Please do not simply consider your investment in setting up a school as a business decision. The challenge lies in the operations, and the effort involved towards ensuring the personal and social development of a child is humongous. Training people to deliver the promised quality is never an easy task. Okay, now we'll define quality in education for you. Quality in education consists of happy teachers, a good student teacher ratio, modern equipment, and adequate space and classroom facilities. A good school should offer facilities for retraining teachers and good salaries at par with related spheres. A well designed school should have modern aids and teaching devices. A school should be a center of excellence. It should employ good teachers and pay them well. It should encourage a concern for environment and cleanliness. Remember, I was telling you about hygiene. Above all, it should be managed by a dynamic principal and competent humane teachers. Successful people are punctual and ensure that they deliver the quality they promise. If you have land, you have a long way ahead for setting up a school with quality commitment, which is not going to be an easy task. There are many buildings that exist with no students and have dilapidated campuses. Many dreams turn sour because the schools do not have the right leadership. I'll pause here. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. You can put them in the chat box. I have some panelists here. The panelists are also there to answer questions. They will happily do that for you. You can ask your questions. You will get the answers from the panelists. We have enhanced our panel and added some people this week. So they will be able to answer questions. Please feel free to ask our panelists. Thank you so much. Now we will continue reading. Leadership matters. A campus alone is not a school. It needs people with compassion and values who will deliver quality education and will help the entrepreneur maintain quality. If you want to make a good school, it is important to find people with compassion and passion. And then alone will your land become the ideal place for fertile minds. Innovation lies in building and growing and not simply in sowing and forgetting. If you have a piece of land and other infrastructure, you will need to partner with the community, the people, and the society to help build a good school. This is the key. You can note the sentence down, you can take a screenshot. If you ask me, this is the most important part. If you have a piece of land and other infrastructure, you will need to partner with the community, the people, and the society to help build a good school. The school must be in the best hands and offer principle covers many different areas, including leadership, teacher evaluation, student discipline, and community relations. Being an effective principal is hard work and time consuming. A good principal knows how to balance various roles and responsibilities while keeping abreast with the changing trends in education. So, if you have land, you need the best principal. And in principle, I've used two principles here. Follow this. So, if you have land, you need the best principle. And in principle, you are often not the best principal for the dream school. Check on the sentence construction. Think about it. So, if you have land, you need the best principal. And in principle, you're not often the best principal for the dream school. The owner must simply be a mere resource provider and entrust the principal with the freedom to lead and to make it an institution. People make the place and they alone shape lives. Children are tender not only in body but also in heart and mind. A. former principal of the Scindia School, states the challenge with promoters, they need to give space to people they entrust the school to. Teachers are there, but they need to be respected and trusted and given time, recognition, and encouragement. Many well known schools are floundering because the school is not giving them the space required by them. There are appraisals and increments, even sacking, but the quality of staff is not growing. Teachers and the system must show a balance so that the soul of the school is retained. So, we are talking about giving the school a soul. And if you look at a human body, it's a magnificent creation. And consider a school as a living being. The heart of the school is the teachers. The body is merely the piece of land. And the mind of the school is shown by the way children get the joy. So, if children are what guide the school because their future matters, that's why I call them the mind. If I call teachers the heart, then this is how a school functions. And I look at successful schools across the world. It's only the school which trusts the teachers, which trusts the leaders, principals, and the staff. That's the only school which succeeds. There are so often entrepreneurs who become the teachers and leaders themselves. Perfect, beautiful. It's a great combination. Reduces cost. It's a wonderful entrepreneurial model. But you must understand everyone does not have the skills to become entrepreneur, educator, investor. And today, setting up a school has become a very difficult one. Have a vision and a mission. Now, that is the next part. The most important feature of a transforming organization is that it has a vision, or what I would like to call the school's desired future. We have to make the school an important societal change agent for the future to bring about any transformation in learning and social development in any community or countries. First and foremost, we must list what a school must be. So if you have land, sorry, let me just flip the page. Yeah. The first thing, the vision must be initiated by the leader and developed with school personnel and all stakeholders. It must provide future orientation. It must set an overarching direction. It must evoke an image of the future school. It must provide a standard of excellence and ideal. Is it the vision, the basis for the unique contribution to students, to school personnel, community, and society? The vision should be shared and supported by the internal and external stakeholders. So I keep coming to stakeholders. And school to me is not a space for investors. School to me is a place for stakeholders. Today we hear some investors coming and picking up schools. It's not that easy. Unless you are going to win all the stakeholders, your investment will not go anywhere. Finally, the vision must be living and even evolve further as the process of change creation rolls out. There is a debate today of converting single sex schools to co ed schools. So, if a time comes, well, it should be valued, thought of, evaluated, and if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. It doesn't matter whether the school's been a boys' scenic school for 50 years or it's been a girls' school for 100 years. It doesn't matter, it should stay there. We have to be relevant to the times. Steve Jobs said, innovation requires a team, and you cannot inspire a team of passionate evangelists without a compelling vision. A vision that is bold, simple, and consistently communicated. A book that has contributed immensely to my learning. It's called Schools Can Change. And I've had the privilege of working with the author of the book. The author of the book, Carl Closet, he's been my companion in a lot of school transformation work. So if you have ambitions of improving your school, I suggest you get a copy of Schools Can Change. If you need help, maybe we can arrange, but I'm not sure if it's so easily available. This is an international edition of a book, and the book is absolutely fantastic. It's the only book I've read as a school coach which has helped me become who I am. A book that has contributed immensely to my learning is Schools Can Change, a step by step change creation system for building innovative schools and increasing student learning by Dale W. Lick, Carl H. Closet, and Carleen U. Murphy. That and my understanding of the work of Learning Forward, the Professional Learning Association for Educators, helped me to crystallize a vision statement for the Fab India School. Now I'm giving an example of a vision statement. And Kunal is here, he's from the Fab India School. The Fab India School will become a national leader in innovation by implementing new technologies in learning and offer affordable quality education. So I've just crafted a little vision for life for long. Another way to state a vision is the Fab School will become a national leader in schools and become the favored destination for English learning in rural India. So the first statement is compelling and explains to all the stakeholders what is in it for them. That is what a strong vision statement is. This perhaps is our goal and is indeed a part of our vision, wherein we have set out to become an institution of excellence, and there is an element of dynamism in what we are doing. The vision thus sustains over an extended period of time and is the direction for the ongoing mission. I have a little message which I'm reading, which is not there here. Let me see if I can show it to you people. This is a message. Actually, I have an autographed copy of the book, Schools Can Change. I met the author. So here's a little message. I'm honored that this book has been an inspiration for you in transforming the Fab India School and in creating Learning Forward India to extend your vision throughout India. You are a true visionary for changing education, and I value our collaboration. Now, I read this sentence with a purpose because this sentence really explains the mission of an individual or an institution. And also, really, in one small paragraph, gives you a whole story of what schools can do. Schools can change, can do. So, if you're a school leader, a principal, or a school promoter, I suggest you get a copy of Schools Can Change. A study by Bain and Company indicated that organizations that have clearly defined vision and mission statements aligned with the strategic plan outperform those who do not. A mission statement does the following. Now I'm coming to the mission. I'm trying to differentiate between vision and what is a mission. Vision and missions are two different things. So if you look at the mission here, the Fab India School will become a national leader in innovation by implementing new technologies in learning and affordable quality education. Now, this will appeal to all the stakeholders. It gives the message to everyone. Leader, learning, affordable. Now, how do you translate that into something on the ground is what the mission says. Defines the purpose. It defines the present state and the purpose of an organization. It answers questions about why an organization exists, what it does, who it does it for, and does how does what it does. So the who, what, why is what the mission is all about. So if you ask me something, the vision when you go to a doctor is to get well and help you overcome the challenges. The doctor gives you a prescription. And when you have your medicine, you get the what, who, why, and you get well. It is important to develop a plan around a clearly defined and well written vision and mission. Both serve important, yet different roles as core elements of a strategic plan. Again, taking the example of the Fab India School. Its mission is to provide access to high quality education for boys and girls at the rural level, using English as the medium of instruction. The school views primary education as a major stepping stone towards social mobility, equality, and employment opportunities. The vision must encourage us to think big. So it should give you the overview. Think for tomorrow. Think of students and society, contribution, and most importantly, lead and help to create the future. Learning for staff and children, motivate them and win them over with a bright future. Team up and deliver. Okay, this is all about the vision does. Vision killers are often tradition, being risk averse, stereotypes, complacency, short sightedness. We must look for quick results and look at details to help create the big picture. So, I've given you an example of vision killer. If it deems your school has to change the board to be relevant, if it deems your school has to change the way they get students on their roles, if it deems that your school has to change their curriculum to rebalance between service, skill, and sports society, it should not hesitate. The vision must be cognitive to educate, emotional to motivate, and organizational to coordinate. Now you look at your school: educate, motivate, and coordinate. I've used three rhyming words: educate, motivate, coordinate. They work on three intrinsic things a school needs: your cognitive self, your emotional self, and your organizational self. An effective vision produces more efficient and coordinated action. It must be coherent, purpose, powerful, emphasize on what is achievable, and always clarify what the school should be. Vision without action is a dream. Action without vision is a pastime. A vision must be a shared one, as this alone will make it become a reality one day. I'll take a pause. Kunal, can you please unmute?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I said something very interesting here. A vision must be a shared one, as this alone will make dreams come true. You've had a dream. You are perhaps one of the youngest persons here, and you have really seen what I'm talking on this chapter from the inside core. For the knowledge of everyone, Kunal is from the Fab India School. Can you give us an example where you felt that in your school the stakeholders were involved in furthering the vision and understood the mission?
I guess
You remember?
when
Yeah, go ahead.
when I see my schooling years being there at the Fab India school, and when we talk about how vision and mission was, integrated in all of us, we were carrying it in our heart. So I guess there were simple lines which were written when we were, actually going out of the school. Out of the school means when जब हमारी छुट्टी होती थी, so there was a board when we were going out. So there were three simple words were written. So those three simple words were हम होंगे कामयाब. So I got a question very one day. So I asked my teacher that हम होंगे कामयाब, what does it mean? I would, if I wanted to write, I would have written मैं होऊंगा कामयाब. So I would have write मैं होऊंगा कामयाब. Or why it is written हम होंगे कामयाब? So the teacher very, precisely answered, and the teacher was the principal at that time, and she was Miss Deepika Tandon. So she says that, when you will be kamyab, the whole community around you will be kamyab. So that's why it is written as hum honge kamyab and not as main honga kamyab. So I guess that was one purpose where the integration of the school's vision and mission in all of us was there. And when I see people working there, there are many people like who has given lives to, to the school and all. Like I see there is a guy named Jiva Ramji. So he's being, I think from the very founding years, he's taking care of the school's forest. And when we go there and when we see him, he's still there. And when we see him, he's like a new boy who has come and every day doing the same task with same, courage and all. So I think that's what the integration of all of us towards one vision and mission is.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought the example of a school forest. And Jivaramji still feels like a young boy in forest despite the fact he's been there for almost my lifetime. And he still climb trees, he's still as energetic, and he is a local, a traditional tribal of the area. He understands, he connects with nature. The beautiful part is he's perhaps the most educated person we have because he understands the depth of the vision. Education is never about knowing content, it's about applying the learning to life. And that is the beauty. So, how do you take a school from good to great? I'm glad we are here and we are talking about all these things. I must thank Kunal for bringing the very simple thing. School's vision, hum honge kamyab. I think this could also be a vision, not just a mission. Because it's so easy to understand, yet very intricate and very, very difficult to put in place. And I love the answer the principal then gave Kunal that, well, if you'll be successful, your community will get the fruits of it. So that's how a school moves from good to great. Elements that make a school good are good systems, good training, and a scholarship program. Good systems, good training, and a scholarship program. What does this do? It brings diversity, equity, and inclusion. The school Kunal comes from, and I say this every day, is perhaps one of the most equitable schools in the world, where right from the person at the gate to the person who's the richest person in town, all their children study in the school. And you talk today of RTI and 25% and reservation and scholarships. That schools always had that with them, where almost 20 to 25% of the children study free. Not just free, they are compensated 120% so that they feel included in the school. Now, this must be highlighted in the mission and the vision. In the vision, when you say hum honge kamyab, means everyone will be kamyab. It's not socialist, it's not communist, it's not capitalist, it's everyone. At the core of any vibrant society or any institution, we need systems to manage, ensure deliverables, and achieve our goals. No game can be won without strategy, and this is the key to success. Today, we have tools and good professional help to put in place systems to build a school. It's critical to understand the connection between good people and good systems. So, there are two things I'm giving you: good people, good systems. Good systems support good performance and drive good outcomes. Systems represent best practices which allow good people to excel. They provide consistency and predictability, eliminate waste and guesswork, and free people up to perform their best. Schools must be better managed and the resources optimally used to help deliver affordable, quality education. The greatest systems, technology, and ideas in isolation won't transform an organization at all levels. Change creation for building innovative schools and increasing student learning is possible only if we manage our schools better. We need to put in place best practices and transform the leadership of the institution. To make this possible, we need right people. Find the right people and do the right job. To put in place this system, we need great training. We must not confuse systems with technology or IT, as is often do. A system is a good process that makes efficient delivery possible. Yes, technology is an enabler and a mere tool. It is not a solution. Training is the key to build the best staff team. Thank you all. I respect each one of you who are investing this time in training and learning. With the changing times, we have to continuously align our growth and development to meet the changing needs of the people, the society, and the economy. A learning organization brings to life an ecosystem for intellectual growth and development of the young people. We need to move from competition to collaboration. And today, the students too have a lot to add to our professional growth and development. That's why at my good school, we learn as much from our young peers. When I say young peers, I mean the students who attend my good school on Sunday. We learn as much from them as they learn from us. That's exactly what you need to adapt to. Don't go into instructional mode and teaching mode. Get out of that. Get into learning mode. The challenge for us is to first connect, then communicate, go on to collaborate, and finally create. Connect, communicate, collaborate, create. It follows the dictionary. Think of it. First, you need to connect when you go into your classroom. Second, you need to communicate. Third, you need to collaborate, and then creation happens. Knowledge is the epitome of creation. We need to have the best faculty put in place, the most fertile learning environment. To make this happen, we have to continuously train and retrain to help deliver growing aspirations of our people. Teachers today have to be regarded as professionals, like doctors, lawyers, and managers. They need to keep learning and building up their professional capabilities. To make education meaningful, it must be inclusive, and we need to value each and every individual's for his or her ability and needs. This is only possible if we have a good scholarship program. Expanding the outreach of school is the area of social concern. A scholarship program to promote the educational interests of both the needy and the deserving students, and thus helping them to shaping their careers, helps make the world a better place. For youth to meaningfully grow and be part of a harmonious society, we need an egalitarian economic model to equip one and all with quality education. This is very relevant today on a day just after the US decided they don't need the Department of Education. Think about it. How will we offer equal opportunity? This morning, I read a very interesting post comparing how Finland ensures no child goes hungry, no child goes without clothes, and no child goes without education. Education in Finland is totally public funded. The power of knowledge can not only transform minds but help build sustainable livelihoods. Right from ancient times, where wisdom or knowledge was not subject to patience or selfish wealth creation. We have examples of how the haves and have nots work together in the conquest of knowledge. Education without boundaries is best achieved if we make it available to all without fear and favor. The power of knowledge to help transform lives is well established and is the only path for better livelihood for one and all. Another thing that cannot be stressed enough is that schools must be havens for personal freedom. Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore has very beautifully eulogized freedom at school in his poem, Where the Mind is Without Fear. The poem is read as a prayer in many schools, and for me personally, this is the haven of freedom a school should be. Overall, schools are one of the safest places where children can be. However, some schools have problems such as bullying and theft, which make them less secure. These problems make students and educators feel less secure, and it makes it harder for students to learn and for teachers to do their jobs. There are still bigger challenges. The world has been shaken up with the brute violence like the shooting of schools, good old Boko Haram kidnappings you may have heard of, killing of innocent children by violence and design. Traditionally, we looked at school safety for ensuring our children were accident free and that their journey to school was safe too. Today, a monster of terrorism and brutal design of radicals have threatened the school space even more. The fear psychosis will not only push us to take recourse to policing and security, but more than that, will need counseling and great effort to soothe the terror stricken minds of the children of the world. In the times that we live in, it is imperative for every school to have crisis teams that review their plans regularly and staff members to greet and challenge every person who comes to the door. They should have locked doors, safety drills, and parents who know where to find their kids just in case the unthinkable happens. According to Ken Trump, president of National Schools Safety and Security Services, schools need counselors, psychologists, and officers building relationship with kids because they are the best line of defense. What is most important in the school's work to prevent problems through community building, fostering respect, inclusion, fairness, and equity. So, in this book, this is how the whole book is structured. And as we come to the end of today's reading, this is essentially what a school should be and what a school should offer. So the book has resulted as a result of my theoretical views. It is steeped with decade-long association with schools, working closely on various aspects to ensure we help them deliver better. When we work with schools, our focus is in creating an environment. So we are really creating an environment. And I have repeated this earlier also, and I'm repeating it for another time today before we close the last session. Experiential learning is made possible through activities beyond just study, which can consolidate and bring to life learning which would otherwise be theoretical and uncoordinated. That is the first part. That's how, when I started the session today about whether the school should be a real estate or school should be a learning space, what exactly school should be. This is what a school should offer. Encouraging students to involve themselves in activities in their community outside the confines of the school curriculum will help develop their confidence, knowledge, and contacts. Kunal will say, "My good school retreat." Quality in education consists of happy teachers, a good student ratio, modern equipment, adequate space, and classroom facilities. I'm repeating towards the end. A good school brings together the parents, students, teachers, and the management to partner for the personal and social development of the child. I hope this book helps you realize the importance for every child to have the My Good School experience in life. Also, discover the role that we can play in helping create such schools. Thank you so much. That was the reading for today. I'm open to Q&A or any other answers. Yeah, this is a good question here about vision. So, if you look at the vision, if you open the book, I have given you examples of vision. Possibly when you type this question and I gave you examples, you had not read the answer of the Fab India School. So why don't we now go back and read the chapter again? I'm sure it'll answer your question about vision. Vision, it's important, must involve all stakeholders. It should be simple. It shouldn't be a whole book. It shouldn't be even 300 words or 200 words or even 100 words. It should be the bullseye. That's the first part. So, like, this is very nice. Hum honge kamyab. You'll think that what's in it. I think this is the most important thing. When you, me, and everyone in nature, everyone is successful, community is happy, that's what a school do. A school is a catalyst for building a strong community. It's a catalyst for change in the world, and that's the whole focus. So a vision could be, you want a school that can change the world. Why not? And that's what great schools do. So we started with, I had a piece of land, and then we ended up with building a great school. So that was a 45-minute session. This session is addressed as brewing knowledge. I'm happy to spend a few more minutes. If you want to talk, I'm happy to bring you in. You can put your hand up. We are more than happy. Any attendee is welcome to talk. We are happy to do that. We have people from across the country. And I think it may be a good idea that you write in the chat the school and the city you are from, just to encourage us and see where you come from. It'll just help us remember that you were here from this part of the world, and even encourage us to see where we are reaching. So
I
just
guess
pop in.
the vision
Yeah,
and mission practice, we need to repeat that artful.
yeah, we are trying that. We are absolutely trying that.
I guess
So,
who's the real Minasi Prasad should
yeah.
speak up.
Thanks, Kunal. Thinking for so much for Arthur Foot. I'll always be in touch with you. Love you for doing that, right? We will be successful. We have to be successful. There's no other way.
Thank you so much. So thank you all for joining us, and please help your colleagues join. Join process is very simple. After you have registered, you get an email. We give no links in WhatsApp or any other place. The email only comes to you. Once you are registered, a reminder email will come to you in your mailbox. In that very email, you will find the link to join. It's in your mailbox. Don't look for it anywhere. Today, in our attention spans falling, today where we stand, we get too hyper. And the only way to get over a hyper situation is just breathe easy for a second and think. When you send that oxygen to your brain, it will explode with an idea. Send oxygen to your brain, it will explode with an idea. You can only send oxygen to your brain when you lower your heart rate. You can only lower your heart rate when you breathe, when you read, and when you think about what you're reading. So enjoy yourself. If you are part of what we call the Good School Alliance, well, we have a master class tomorrow, same time, same place. We read on Sundays, and every day the book is different. We hope by showcasing 3-4 books a week, we'll encourage some people to read. That was the whole idea of setting up the Learning Forward Foundation. So I'm giving you now the vision of the Learning Forward Foundation. Everybody should experience the art of reading. That's all. As simple as that. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful Friday. Let's brew knowledge together. Until next Friday. Get a copy of the book if you want. In the group today, I will share some links. A lot of the material we read is available on our blog. If you go to the WhatsApp chat, you will find the link there. Open the sheet and all the links are there. So when Friday happens, we do post these links inside your WhatsApp chat. Use the links. Share the blogs. Comment below the blogs. Think. Until then, good luck. Have a great week ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Meenakshi. Thank you, Kunal.